I think Xavier's obviously a very good player, but he's a leader in the locker room. I think he works hard. He does a lot of the things that are core to what we see moving forward, and we're excited to keep him and have him here for a while.
What kind of message do you think this contract sends to the rest of the players in the locker room?
I don't think it really sends a message. I think every kind of situation is case by case. I think Xavier's a really good player. I think we got a lot of good players in our locker room. I think they're all really working hard and doing all the things that we ask them to do. From a conditioning standpoint, from a learning the playbook standpoint, from a fundamental standpoint. So I think we're moving in the right direction.
Obviously, we saw a lot of good from him last year. Do you think there's still another level of his play?
I think there's always room for improvement. For every player, for every coach, for everyone within the organization. So I think there's a lot of room for improvement from Xavier as well as the rest of the group. Offensively, defensively, in the kicking game, the coaching staff. I mean, we're always on a quest for improvement.
When you reviewed all of Xavier's film from last year, what stood out to you as his on-field strengths?
I mean, he's got good length. He's got good strength at the line of scrimmage. He's got really good ball skills. He tackles well. I think he's just a good overall player. Again, he doesn't have all the answers. He's not the perfect player. I don't think there is one. Obviously, it's an imperfect game, but he does a lot of things that we like, and he's a team player. That's one of the things that's as we met and talked. He's definitely those things. Before I forget, I didn't. The last time I talked to you guys, I failed to thank the scouts and our area scouts and our scouting department after the draft. I think those guys did an amazing job. They work hard. Those guys are on the road. They're doing, they kind of gets lost in the shuffle, kind of the things that they do. And I just kind of wanted to kind of show my appreciation, for that group. And I forgot to do that before, so I'm doing it now.
Jordan Mills, why was his addition to the roster important?
We looked at after the draft, and we kind of reevaluated what else was out there. We saw Jordan, and obviously I know him, and this organization knows him from playing against him, in Buffalo. We just saw an opportunity to add a veteran player who has some experience, and thought it was a good move for our team.
We're going to see over the next few months, obviously, a lot of position battles. Quarterback's the one that's going to get the most attention, obviously. When you're evaluating quarterbacks, two guys that have an equal chance of winning the job, what do you look for? What are the most important things that one of these guys has to do to win the job?
I think you hit it. There's going to be competition really across the board on this team, and I don't think that there's any way to raise the level of a group than to create competition. So we're going to do that here. As far as the quarterback position, like every other position, there'll be competition there. But in that position, we're looking for leadership. We're looking for obviously accuracy. We're looking for someone who for the most part can lead the team and put together successful drives and put us in good position, in the run game and the pass game from a protection standpoint. So there's a lot that goes into it. It's a leadership position, and there's going to be some competition at that position for sure.
If Ryan Fitzpatrick wins that competition and then wins it every week until the end of the season, you're good with that?
The best man, yeah. If he wins the competition, absolutely, I'm good with that. I think that would be what's best for the team and best for the Miami Dolphins, and that'll be the same at all positions. If we feel like we're going to play the players we feel are going to help us win games, that's what we're going to do here. That's at all positions: quarterback, running back, D-line, all positions.
What would that do for an evaluation on Rosen?
Well, you know, thankfully we get to evaluate them every day in practice. I mean, you guys probably don't see that, but we do. So I think that's, you know, a good enough evaluation for me. Probably not for you guys, but you know, I think that's, you know, that's football though. We get to evaluate them every day, you know, from an individual period to a, you know, group period to a team period, and all of that counts. So, you know, I think you got to earn your right to play, just like you got to earn the right, you know, to write articles. You got to earn the right to coach. So, I mean, to have it any other way is, you know, I don't think that's the right way to do things.
Brian, what's the rest you got Christian Wilkins since he's stepped foot in the building?
Christian brings a lot of energy into the building. He's a fun-loving guy. You know, for me, someone who's, you know, pretty straight edge, he brings. Let's call him you know, he brings energy, good energy, in a good way. You know, it's something I like, and you know, but at the same time, he works extremely hard, or he has worked extremely hard. Really, I would say over the last 24 hours, and he's working, he's asking questions. You know, did a good job in the walkthrough. So, you know, I'm excited to work with him. You know, we as a staff are, and he's got an opportunity to well, right now he's got to earn the respect of his teammates. He's got to obviously learn the playbook. He's got to understand how we practice. I mean, all this is new for all these guys, so we're not going to, you know, throw a bunch of expectations on him. But, you know, we're excited to work with Christian.
Coach, Christian kind of reminds me, not as polarizing as maybe Gronk was, but it seems like his personality has the ability to galvanize teammates on this team. How do you let Christian be Christian and have his personality kind of shine through?
Well, I think we're going to let each player be, I want each player to be who they are. You know, again, I don't want to put that on, you know, this kid this early. You know, he's yet to step on the field and practice. So to say he's going to be a leader, I mean, does he have the potential? Yeah, a lot of our guys have that type of potential. I'm not going to put that on this kid. I think he's got a great personality. I think he's, you know, shown leadership, you know, in his past. You know, is it there? Yes. Or do we expect him to be captain of this team this year? And, you know, no. I mean, I'm not. We're not going to put that on him right now. Right now, he needs to learn the playbook, earn the respect of his teammates, go out here and, you know, set foot on the field first and foremost, and then we'll take it from there.
Coach, what's your time frame on installing the offense and defense? Has that already begun? Is it more training camp? How does that work?
They gotta get into my.
No, I just want to know. It's already begun.
Well, yeah, we've got some of our basic install in right now. I don't know if I want to give you my timetable, you know, as we move forward here. You know, I don't want to give away any tricks of the trade here. But yeah, we've started the install. It's really basic with these guys. I mean, they got, you know, they don't know. And these guys are trying to find out where the locker room is, where the cafeteria is. So a lot of basic information for these guys right now.
How intense, I'm sorry,
Okay.
forgive me, this rookie camp, how intense do you want it to be? And forgive me, what kind of drills can you do, do you hope to do?
I mean, we're just going to work on basic fundamental technique. And that's the focus. This is a teaching camp. That's the focus of this camp. We want to, you know, get these guys, you know, up to speed on what we do from a fundamental standpoint, offensively, defensively in the kicking game, from a basic information, basic install standpoint, offensively, defensively in the kicking game. So obviously it's a non-contact camp. We all know that. So, you know, we want guys off the ground. We want them, you know, no excessive contact. I mean, we've talked about that already as a group. But I do think you can get a lot accomplished. I think, you know, to get, you know, 11 guys in the huddle, you know, quarterback center exchange, and get going with the communication and those types of things, really in all facets, I don't think you can't replace that.
I know it's important for all your offensive linemen to be cross-trained, either left, right, or guard, tackle, or center guard.
Yeah.
What is the vision? Leader? Is he a guy that's going to have to learn both sides, or is he a guy that's going to focus primarily on one side?
You know, that's My first response is I think he's going to have to. Versatility is obviously big for us, and really big for every team in the league. You want to start a guy in one spot, but I would never say, hey, it's just going to be this. So we try to teach him the entire concept, really all 5 positions. And he's a guy who's played multiple spots in his career. We're excited to work with him. But really, at the end of the day, we're going to try to put our best 5 guys out there, and wherever he fits, if he's part of that 5, big if, he's got a long way to go. Again, he's got to set foot on the field first. If he's part of that, then we're just going to, we'll see where the 5 fit. That's kind of how I look at it from that standpoint. How do we get the best 5 guys, and where do those fit as far as how we get the most production out of that group? So it could be left guard, right tackle. I can't tell you.
This organization has done a good job the last 7 or 8 years of drafting running backs from Lamar Miller, Jay Ajayi, Kenyon Drake, Kalen Ballage, Mike Gillisley, even found Damian Williams, undrafted. Are there organizations that are just good at finding a particular position?
Well, like I said earlier, we've got a really good scouting staff, and those guys do a really good job. They're on the road for, 100 days a year. They're getting, from evaluations to background information to, these guys work really hard. They do a good job, and they're really thorough, I would say, really at all positions. Yeah, you're right. We've done a good job, at the running back position. Hopefully we continue to do so, and we've got good backs, and we're excited about the ones we have right now.
Is there a reason that is it identifying them? Is it developing them? Why has this organization, do you think?
I think it's all those things. It's identifying, but to me, it's always about developing guys for sure. Eric does a great job with the running backs here. And I think that's a big part of it as well. So there's some continuity as far as that's concerned, and these guys they've grown under him, and hopefully they continue to do that.
Brian, your understanding of Josh coming in, considering he's been through so many different systems, has he had a good initial grasp of what you all are trying to do offensively?
I would say so. He's very bright. He's really he's really studying the information and trying to get it all down as quickly as he can. But he Fitz, Jake, those the 3 of those guys, they're really working to become leaders on this team, to lead the offense. That's in all facets. That's in the huddle, that's inside the building, that's in the meeting rooms. I think all those guys are doing a really good job. And Josh, obviously just being here a couple weeks, he's done well, I would say. I think he's done well, but there's a long way to go.
You guys have talked a lot about liking a lot of the Charles Harris's traits, but didn't necessarily mention him as a defensive end, sort of like a hybrid type player. Where's your comfort level with this team and the roster at defensive end right now?
I feel good about our end position. I think Charles specifically, he's a young player. He's got a lot of ability. He's another guy who's working extremely hard to learn the different facets of the defense. I think Tank's come in and done a good job. Woot's come in and done a good job. I think we've got a lot of edge players, I would say, end of the line players who are working, who I'm excited to work with, I would say.
You and your staff have done a good job in past of developing UDFAs. Do you use some of those success stories to this current crop, and how do you kind of see that process and them trying to earn a job?
Well, I think across the league you see undrafted free agents make it, and I think they do that. Obviously they all have. I'd like to think they all have a little chip on their shoulder. I like to think everyone's got a chip on their shoulder. I think those guys specifically do. I think having been around, a few myself, I think, they're all tough. They're all, compete on a day-to-day basis. There's no complacency with those guys because there can't be any. They know their margin for error is slim. I wish everyone felt that way, but that's just not the case for whatever reason. But their margin for they feel that way. And there's that big chip, and you need a chip on your shoulder to play in this league, really at all positions, to coach in this league as well. So, I like that mentality. I think that, and I said this to the team, I don't care what round you were picked in, undrafted, drafted, try out. If you can help this team win, then, you're going to have a chance to do that. So I think there's a mentality there that goes with, and from their standpoint, they may feel undervalued.
When facing an offense that utilizes a fullback, you guys obviously drafted one.
Mm-hmm.
What, in your experience, can be a challenge that formation poses?
I think, with the way offenses, have trended, I would say in the last 10 years, really away from the fullback into more spread. There are not a lot of teams know how to defend, two-back run game. So, it all moves in circles, right? So, I think, for us, I think the having the ability to do that, may be an advantage. It may not be an advantage. I don't know. But we like Chandler. He's I think what I specifically like about him was his energy, his play on the field, obviously his toughness, his intelligence, but really his toughness, his grit. That was to me that's. He kind of embodied a lot of things that I love about the game. So, we're going to have a fullback, one way or another, and we're going to be a tough physical team.
Final question. How do you handle players who may want to know the why of things versus guys who are comfortable just doing what they're told, so to speak?
Well, I want my players to want to know the why. I think in order to get a player to really believe in what he's doing, he should know why. And I think that's coaching. And if players don't ask why, they should be asking why. Because I want my players to believe in what they're doing. So, yeah, I don't. Do we want them to do what we ask them to do? Yes. Should they ask why they're doing it so they can believe in it a little bit more? I think so. So I've always kind of challenged my players to ask why, and I challenge my coaches to be able to give them an answer as to why. And that way, the whole thing works a little bit better, in my opinion. So.
Thank you.